Good afternoon. The International Criminal Court at The Hague is currently hearing the matter on whether Russian President Vladimir Putin has a case to answer to at The Hague after Russia invaded Ukraine. Let's cross live to the ICC in The Hague.
Which is being directly threatened by Russia's unprovoked, unjustified war against Ukraine. Lithuanians understand the critical importance of every nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity being respected, having lived through decades of Soviet occupation, a forcible occupation that the United States always refused to recognize. In recent years, Moscow has sought to undermine Lithuania's democracy and sow polarization within its population through cyber attacks and disinformation campaigns. That's because the free, open, vibrant, prosperous society that the people of Lithuania have built since the end of Soviet occupation shows what's possible when people choose the path of democracy over autocracy. It's why the United States supported and advocated for Lithuania's membership in NATO and the European Union. And this country, Lithuania, has consistently made outsized contributions to both organizations. Lithuania's commitment to freedom was evident at the Summit for Democracy that President Biden convened late last year, where Vilnius pledged to expand its efforts to support and provide refuge to pro-democracy activists from Belarus and Russia, to promote international accountability measures for gross human rights violations, to increase support for media freedom and the safety of journalists. How prescient and necessary those commitments proved to be. In the face of the current crisis, the United States and Lithuania are united in our resolve to stand with Ukraine. We're surging security assistance to strengthen Ukraine's capacity to defend itself. We're increasing humanitarian aid to the Ukrainian people. We're raising the costs on the Kremlin and all who aid and enable it for continuing this war of choice. And we're bolstering our shared defense so that we and our allies are prepared to meet any threat. The United States has deployed an additional 7,000 forces to Europe. We've repositioned forces already in Europe to strengthen NATO's eastern flank. That includes the extension, as of last week, of the U.S. Army's 366 Armor Battalion, which was deployed to Lithuania in July, the deployment of F-35 strike fighters to the region to augment NATO's enhanced air policing mission. An additional 400 personnel from the 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team will be arriving in Lithuania in the days to come. The United States' commitment to Article 5, an attack on one is an attack on all. That commitment is sacrosanct. And as President Biden repeated to the American people in his State of the Union address just a few days ago, we will defend every inch of NATO territory if it comes under attack. No one should doubt our readiness. No one should doubt our resolve. Over the past several weeks, I authorized allies to provide U.S.-origin defense equipment to our Ukrainian partners. Lithuania stepped up with Stinger anti-aircraft missiles, M72 light anti-tank weapons, and other supplies to help the extraordinarily courageous Ukrainian people defend their country from Russian aggression. Vilnius is also sending about 4 million euros in emergency medical assistance for Ukraine, 30 truckloads packed with aid, urgently needed, given the growing carnage that's being inflicted by the Kremlin's sieges and attacks on civilians. When the Lithuanian Red Cross issued a call just last week for donations to help people in Ukraine, it filled 50 trucks the very first day. We see blue and yellow flags hanging from homes and businesses across this country. And a Lithuanian NGO has reportedly registered nearly 6,000 households willing to take in Ukrainian refugees. The Ukrainians who eventually arrive in Lithuania will join hundreds of anti-corruption activists, opposition politicians, journalists, human rights defenders who already have found safe haven here after being forced to flee attacks, threats, imprisonment in Russia.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken there speaking about Lithuania and its assistance to victims or refugees in the Ukraine and how they're going to be given space in Lithuania and the cooperation between the United States and them. We'll have more on that story for you a little bit later on.